So, let's get right into it. This is going to run terribly because I haven't played this game since the last time I played it on stream. And it's going to throw everything at me. Proportionate response. Oh, we have a story section first. Current, well, technically not negative. Ah, well. The rest of your shift passes in a blur, with the same words going around and around in your head. Operatives working to advance detonated nuclear explosives. Oh yeah, right. Initial estimates put the death toll into the millions. Did this really just happen? You pull into the driveway with no memory of the journey home. Oh god, the game is lagging. Alright, we're just gonna have to deal with it for now. It should be fine when we're in the studio. You pull into the driveway with no memory of the journey home. The light in the front room is on, clearly someone else is still awake. The door creaks open into the living room, and you find Sam sitting on the sofa staring at the TV. The screen is off, and they're clearly lost in thought. You take a seat beside them, and put a reassuring hand on their shoulder. They don't look at you, but they do reach up to take your hand in theirs. Now you're closer. Now you can see the tears flowing freely from Sam's face, freely down Sam's face. A little girl. I know, I don't know what to do. Right, the daughter is in one of the cities that was attacked, I believe. Yeah, it's all coming back now. What the hell can we do? The bastards killed Susie, and millions of others. All because of their fucking war, which we never asked for. Behind the tears you see a fire, raw fury you've never seen in Sam before. I hate them, Alex. I know you've never been a fan of Advance, but after this, they're monsters. I need to know you understand that we can't be indifferent. We need to actually do something. No. I think that's simple. The country is suffering. This war has to end. Nothing can justify what they did, and anyone who tries is just as bad as... yeah. The leaf spreads over Sam's face like a wave, and they collapse against you, clutching tightly. Clearly, this was weighing heavily on them. You're not sure you've even processed it all fully yet, but at least you'll get through it together. Fair point. A final farewell. The last week has passed in a blur. A rush of things to do, but all immediately forgotten. Your memory clouded by a dark fog. 9 days since the so-called Liberation Night, and the beginning of Advance's new future. You weren't the first ones at the church today. You were staggered by the number of people who have come to mourn with you. Everyone here for the same reason, sharing the same pain, the same sense of loss. It's written all over their faces, much as it would be on yours. You step away from everyone else, needing space to gather your thoughts. Your daughter, little Susie, gone. Sam has said little since that evening. You're still getting over the shock. But when you walk over and squeeze their hand, they squeeze back tightly. You get through this together. You can only imagine how awful it would be to face this alone. There hadn't even been a coffin to bury. Fuck. Wow, we're really jumping in time now. That is almost 1.5 years later. An academic exodus. It's a seemingly ordinary morning, but as you get into work, you find a small crowd gathered in the break room. When you go in to grab your first cup of tea of the day, you can't help but overhear some excited chatter. You didn't hear? Yeah, another one's gone missing. What's that bring up the total? What's that bring the total up to now? Oh, I should think over 100 at this point. They won't all have been reported or noticed yet. Sorry, what's going on? An excited young woman turns to you and begins to explain. Another professor went missing from Queensview University. With all the other disappearances over the last year, scientists, doctors, researchers. He pauses before lowering her voice to a whisper. It's clearly targeting the people speaking out against them. I even heard advance are struggling to prevent further. A deep voice, familiar from behind you, interrupts. What exactly is going on here? A silence overtakes the room as you all turn in unison towards the doorway. Bozeman clears his voice before continuing. I've told you before, I don't want to hear about these so-called disappearances. Come on now, people. Advance have been very clear that they are nothing to worry about. Which means they're not our problem. And unless they start classing cappuccinos as intellectual, I don't think anyone here has anything to worry about. Best get back to work. Bozeman holds up a hand to keep you as everyone else flies out the room. Look, I know you have a habit of doing what you want, but things are different now. Advance runs the show, and they're made their feelings clear. And now I'm doing the same. Channel 1's official position is the government has things well in hand. Nothing more, nothing less. I trust I won't be hearing talk about this again. He gives you a curt nod before leaving. It seems that, for better or for worse, public ownership is now in full swing. Oh. That's a lot of time we're skipping through. A career in the making. You drop your fingers on the steering wheel impatiently as you wait for Charlie again. It's great he is enjoying the Cohesion Cadets. Cohesion Cadets. And is so enthusiastic. But doesn't he really need to stay behind? Does he really need to stay behind every week to help? It's your Saturday evening too, after all. Finally, you see him exit the hall, a grin on his face. You can't help but smile back, the frustration starting to fade as you see him so genuinely happy. After hugging his friends goodbye, Johnny heads over to the car and gets in, his face flushed with excitement. How was it? So how was you're interrupted as he can't contain himself any longer. Guess what? What? Play along and smile. Alright, Charlie, come down, tell me what is it? So obviously, the Cohesion Cadets is a starting point for becoming a CCO. So we get a head start when applying for that. Charlie gushes, clearly keen on explaining his news, mostly tripping over the words in his effort to tell you. Well, apparently from next year, the top 5% of cadets will be taken into a special program to become CCMs, Community Cohesion Managers. And guess who's gonna be in it? He beams at you. That's great news, Charlie. We're all so proud of you. I don't even want to know exactly what it is about. No. Whatever Advance does is just not good. With a grin from ear to ear, he sits back in his seat. Yeah, I'm so glad I joined. I can't wait to tell everyone. You chuckle. I think a celebration is in order. How about we pick up some takeaway on the way home? Yes. So go. Interesting name for a company. And the rest of the car ride is spent with Charlie listening every takeaway he can think of. Spark to light the flames. Oh boy. You're surprised to find Sam in bed next to you when you wake up. They must have gotten very late last night from drinks with the folks from school. You decide to let them sleep in and enjoy a lazy Sunday morning. With the house quiet, you decide to bring some breakfast into the living room to watch some TV while you eat. This is breaking news. Reports are coming in from across the country that large swathes of farmland went up in flames last night as part of what authorities are calling a heinous and well-planned act of terrorism by the group known as Disrupt. Drop your spoon back into the porch and turn up the volume. Oh boy. In addition to food stores, which government sources have said will put a strain on universal menu centers countrywide, a number of CCO and civic buildings were targeted in last night's attack. According to Prime Minister Julia Salisbury, specific prisons and re-education and betterment facilities were raided, and a small selection of problematic and potentially dangerous individuals were forcibly extracted from lawful custody. You hold your breath waiting to hear if anyone got hurt. Unfortunately, it appears that the CCOs were ill-prepared for an event like this. The Disrupt seemed much more effective and well-organized in comparison. While most of the targeted locations were thankfully empty of people given the lateness of the hour, the betterment centers were fully staffed when they came under attack. 17 CCOs and 4 administrative staff lost their lives as a result of the brutal actions of Disrupt last night. With countless more injured, many seriously, and rushed to hospital. A few Disrupt members were caught during the conflict, but the vast majority seem to have evaded capture so far. More of the story as it develops. You go to turn off the TV. You're interrupted by Charlie walking into the living room, bleary-eyed with a piece of toast. Anything interesting going on? He just intuitively you leave the news on as they cycle through the story again. Charlie watches in a hushed silence. By the end of the broadcast, they're dubbing it The Night of Fire. Everything's going to be okay, right? Yeah, all's going to be fine, but can't pull the kid into that. The uprising. A year and a half since Liberation Day.
Can you hear me? Alex? This is Alan James.
Hi.
The revolution starts tonight, Alex, and we need your help. Throughout this broadcast, we're going to ask you to do things that will directly help with this mass protest. I'll be talking to you regularly tonight, and I'll also be hacking in when I can. Please help get our message out. We're on the verge, Alex. You've always been fair and balanced in your approach to us. With your help, we can tip the balance in our favor. If you play our tape at the second break, that's when we think it will have the most impact. It's on your right.
Of Just the
Here.
Job, followed at 10 p.m. by a chance to see the very last
So what?
How's it doing?
How should I know?
What, you haven't heard?
I haven't played Crazy Meal every single one, so
My nan, but she never missed her birthday.
Your grandmother's on the run, Colin.
Yeah. Armed robbery, resisting arrest.
must be played. Nope.
Silence and blood. She's right laugh.
Yep.
I hope he's alright though. No, he's got this far, and your brother was fine.
Going in 10 seconds, everybody.
God. I'm gonna fuck this up so hard.
Definitely. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening. This is the National Nightly News broadcasting across the territories. My name is Megan Wolf. Our top stories tonight. Future legend. It's been 40 days since Disrupt conducted multiple attacks across the territories. During the coordinated action, subsequently dubbed the Night of Fire, emergency services were kept busy at the agricultural centres, while a series of covert attacks were carried out freeing political prisoners, including former newsman Jeremy Donaldson. Nothing has been heard from the missing journalist since the violent Disrupt attack on his convoy 6 weeks ago. Donaldson was on his way back to Betterment after his notorious court appearance. All of us here at Channel 1 hope that wherever he is now, he's safe. Food, glorious food. With the last of the menu centres opening in territories 5, 8 and 14 today, Advance confirmed that the programme is now in full operation, providing free food for every citizen of the new future. What started as rationing during the 20-week war has blossomed into a social contract that is the envy of the unawakened world. Jack Tractorpants, spokesman for the menu centres, said today that while they can guarantee the contents of every box is nutritious, the actual quality of the meals you cook depends on whether you have a touch of Chef Jordan Rankley or the culinary skills of a professional footballer. If I were a rich man. Problems in territories 11, 17 and 22 today as striking bosses attempted to undermine their new economies. With seemingly no awareness of irony, the former CEOs and MDs have come together to form the Wealth Creators Union, with demands including a return to 150% bonuses, private jets and mandatory grovelling zones. Advance have been quick to respond, saying if they would rather quit their cushy jobs to become nurses or teachers, they'll earn significantly more than they used to pay their own workforce. Thus far, no one has taken up the challenge. Some fun now. Signs of ever more resistance to Advance's radical policies today as popular resistance movement Disrupt extended their reach further across the territories. The organisation's emblem appeared in every major city across the territories last night in a well-coordinated publicity stunt, which has seen them dominate the headlines. Asked about the impressive display earlier today, Disrupt spokesperson Alan James said that the movement was reaching what he described as a critical mass. A poor choice of words given recent history. And endings of sorts.
Well. Let's try that again. I hope that was a one-off crash.
I'm Megan Wolf. And I'm Jeremy Dawes. Our main headlines tonight.
Didn't play this properly. If you're scared to issue when you can't be swept out for the praise. Upload fixed variable. Yes.
What a wild.
It's fine. Hopefully that was just a one-off crash.
Starts tonight, Alex, and we need your help. Throughout this broadcast, we're going to ask you to do things that will directly help with this mass protest. I'll be talking to you regularly tonight, and I'll also be hacking you when I can. Please help get our message out. We're on the verge, Alex. You've always been fair and balanced in your approach to us. With your help, we can tip the balance in our favour. If you play our tape at the second break, that's when we think it will have the most impact. It's on your right.
Episode of Just the Job, followed at 10 p.m. by a chance to see the very last episode of Just the Job.
Jesus.
So what?
How's he doing?
How should I know?
What, you haven't heard from him?
He's a wanted criminal, Colin.
So's my nan, but she never misses her birthday.
Your grandmother's on the run, Colin.
Yeah. Armed robbery, resisting arrest, double homicide of the same bloke. She's right laugh.
No. He's got this far, and your brother was fine.
Going in 10 seconds, everybody.
What the fuck?
Probably. Not probably. Definitely.
Going in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening. This is the National Nightly News broadcasting across the territories. My name is Megan Wolf. Our top stories tonight. Future legend. It's been 40 days since Disrupt conducted multiple attacks across the territories. During the coordinated action, subsequently dubbed the Night of Fire, emergency services were kept busy at the agricultural centres, while a series of covert attacks were carried out freeing political prisoners, including former newsman Jeremy Donaldson. Nothing has been heard from the missing journalist since the violent Disrupt attack on his convoy 6 weeks ago. Donaldson was on his way back to Betterment after his notorious court appearance. All of us here at Channel 1 hope that wherever he is now, he's safe. Food, glorious food. With the last of the menu centres opening in territories 5, 8 and 14 today, Advance confirmed that the programme is now in full operation, providing free food for every citizen of the new future. What started as rationing during the 20-week war has blossomed into a social contract that is the envy of the unawakened world. Jack Tractorpants, spokesman for the menu centres, said today that while they can guarantee the contents of every box is nutritious, the actual quality of the meals you cook depends on whether you have a touch of Chef Jordan Rankley or the culinary skills of a professional footballer. If I were a rich man, problems in territories 11, 17 and 22 today as striking bosses attempted to undermine their new economies. With seemingly no awareness of irony, the former CEOs and MDs have come together to form the Wealth Creators Union, with demands including a return to 150% bonuses, private jets and mandatory grovelling zones. Advance have been quick to respond, saying if they would rather quit their cushy jobs to become nurses or teachers, they'll earn significantly more than they used to pay their own workforce. Thus far, no one has taken up the challenge. Some fun now. Signs of ever more resistance to Advance's radical policies today as popular resistance movement Disrupt extended their reach further across the territories. The organisation's emblem appeared in every major city across the territories last night in a well-coordinated publicity stunt, which has seen them dominate the headlines. Asked about the impressive display earlier today, Disrupt spokesperson Alan James said that the movement was reaching what he described as a critical mass. A poor choice of words given recent history. And endings of sorts tonight for three stories we've been reporting on. First tonight, Stroke My Head and Call Me Bishop. Although responsibility proved a commercial failure, mainly due to men's inability to regularly take it, an unforeseen side effect of the drug has seen it relaunched today as Baldylocks. Promising an end to male pattern baldness, the launch has follically challenged men celebrating throughout the territories. Frank Slapbegone, pictured here just 1 hour after taking the rebranded medication, enthused that his wife, and I quote, will sleep better now that the reading light isn't bouncing off my head and keeping her awake. Fun guy. Unexpected news today as two familiar scientists announced the birth of an extraordinary child. The underground struggle of doctors David Wong and Ingrid Sporsborg-Horgensvoord captured the hearts of people around the world. And after an arduous return voyage, which took over a year, the couple say they've never been happier. Baby Dante is said to be healthy, if a bit partial to the airing cupboard. Man United. They're happily ever after for Johnny Hamsleeves and partner and former teammate Eric Justin, who finally tied the knot this week. Speaking as the pair headed off for their honeymoon in Territory 15, Johnny acknowledged that there would be many in the football world who wouldn't accept his choice of partner. I think it's time people grew up, he said. Some people are ginger. Get over it. All that, plus we'll be taking a trip to Dangley Parts for the notice board, as well as getting a sneak peek at the hottest ticket in town. That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
Nope. This. I forgot how this works.
It will be time for you to help us again. Come out of your houses, block the traffic, bring the capital to a standstill. I've met so many of you in my travels up and down Territory 1. You always ask the same question. How can I help? Well, this is how. And as for when, you'll know. Keep watching.
But first, 500 days leader and a great man. The start of tonight's programme is dedicated to remembering and celebrating the life of Peter Clement. Patrick Bannon is live from Parliament Park, where Julia Salisbury will be breaking ground on what will soon be a memorial garden in Peter's honour. Patrick.
Listening to that old bitch lying through her teeth about missing that poor bastard.
Patrick.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
We're live.
because I'm not being funny, things were better with Peter, weren't they?
Patrick?
They were, and I don't mind saying it. They were, because he held
Not
us up.
censoring
But
the
now,
blue stuff.
Now there's no stopping
Hello,
her.
Patrick, we're
Well,
live.
of course, can't say that, can I, Francis? No, not with public ownership. No, with public
Having a
ownership, you
little
can't say
problem with
anything these
Patrick's
days.
earpiece there.
Now she's lost it, mate. She's completely off the rocker. I heard from an aide that... Hello, Megan, you join me here live from the what?
In fact, we've lost some signal there for a moment. Well, we will be going live to that groundbreaking ceremony just as soon as we can get Patrick back. Meanwhile, let me just say, I think the memorial gardens are going to be gorgeous. I've had a sneak peek at the designs and Alana Marsh has done a fabulous job. Oh, OK, all right, it seems like we have got the signal back. We can now go live to Patrick Bannon in Parliament Park. Patrick.
Thank you, Megan. I'm Patrick Bannon, and we are indeed live here. Apologies for the technical difficulties there, but any moment now, Julia Salisbury will step out on stage behind me.
Alex, Bozeman here. The boys in editing have just informed me that the eulogy footage isn't fully cut together yet. You're going to have to do it on the fly. For goodness sake, make sure you make it look good.
Slowly gathering since this afternoon.
This is Alan. You can undermine them here and help us win hearts and minds. Make him look bad, Alex. Really bad.
Well, I'll try.
And it seems like the ceremony is
I don't even know
getting
what I'm
underway.
doing.
Here is Prime Minister Julia Salisbury, the picture of elegance, to begin her address.
Good evening, fellow teammates and friends. 500 days ago, all of our lives changed irrevocably. Still reeling from the triumphs and tribulations of Liberation Night, another great loss befell the people of these newly united territories. The loss of a leader, a statesman, a dear friend, and a hero. Peter Gordon Clement.
Oh, I see.
Peter's
Okay.
death at the age of just 62, of course, announced by the team on the 24th of December, just 6 weeks after Liberation Night.
I see.
Born to a working-class family on a housing estate in Rotherham, Peter first trained as a carpenter before getting his start on television. First moving and building scenery, and then developing into the personality that we all knew and loved so much.
Just the Job first hit our screens over 25 years ago.
God, this is gonna be a
running
nightmare.
for 11 series, winning multiple awards, and charming audiences up and down the country.
Peter taught us, all of us, not to be content with the way things are, not to accept inequities, no matter how small. But he also taught us what it took to fight them. Courage, integrity, empathy, and hard, bloody graft.
Across a career spanning 3 decades,
That is-
Peter Clement was known for shows including Wake Up, It's Saturday, and much later, late night chat show Petey, which at its peak drew millions of viewers.
Peter was by no means a saint. Trust me, he once told me he had more regrets than he'd had stolen dinners. He always did have a knack for a turn of phrase. But
I don't have
it
anything
speaks
else
to
to
the strength
show.
of his character, that he chose to share with us his mistakes alongside his achievements, his faults as well as his talents. Peter had the heart to give it all he had for the people of these united territories.
Famous for his potty mouth, it's estimated conservatively that Peter Clement uttered over 1.5 million swear words during his career, though some sources put this figure well in excess of 2 million F-bombs alone.
Gripped by
I don't have
illness
anything to
as
show.
he was in the weeks and months leading up to Liberation Night, he wasn't the man we loved. But his eyes still twinkled with that familiar joy for life, that spark of wit and wisdom of a life lived for others.
Prime Minister Clement, of course, died from apparent liver failure after suffering from the long-term effects of alcohol abuse.
I first met Peter nearly 20 years ago, moments before I was supposed to give a speech. Not unlike this one, actually. Only I'd spilt coffee all down myself, and I was young, nervous, desperate to be liked, and from behind me I heard, "Christ, pet, you've either pissed your kecks or sprung a leak, but either way you got a problem." And before I could even say a word, he'd stripped off his dry trousers and insisted I took them. That was the sort of man that Peter Clement was. Kind, compassionate, sensitive, a brilliant thinker.
Yeah, everything's going to shit because I absolutely don't have any input on these.
A good man.
Yes, I'm definitely portraying him as a good man.
This glorious
Oops.
and new, this shining beacon of
Thank you, Alex.
equality and
There'll be another opportunity to steer public perception soon. It's really starting. You'll know when.
Despite his accomplishments, the future he forged, the boundaries he pushed, to me, he'll always be the man in his pants cheering on a stranger at the back of the conference. It is my great honour
I just wanted to get a
to
reaction.
give to you
A little late.
the Peter Clement Memorial Garden. Should we see if we can get a countdown going? Everyone with me? 10, 9, 8, 7.
What do you want me to do?
Now, Alex, control the message.
Mom, we have to get you to safety. Come with us.
I'm not leaving, I can't. You two, come with me. Don't panic. Help us here, look. We're gonna help you. We need a medic. Are you hurting me?
Well, stop resisting then.
Be okay. Okay, you two stay with him.
Mom, we have to stay by your side.
I am the Prime Minister, and if I give you an order, you will damn well follow it. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Yes,
Yes,
Mom.
Keep your eyes open.
Who the fuck are you?
Oh, I can't hear you. I can't hear anything.
Yes. Medics are coming. You sit down.
No, I can't hear you. I'm from the National Nightly News.
Well, then you can consider this payback. Salisbury's still here. Julius Salisbury! You were guilty of the
Songbird.
more than 10 people.
Target armed.
Haven't you done enough?
There's a stick.
Look around you.
Fucking
This is what your precious freedom looks like, is it? Open fire! God, no.
Eyes up! Take to the streets, the time has come! Stop fires! Break windows, draw them out!
God, this is escalating.
Resist!
Lower your weapons!
Mom?
I said, lower your weapons now!
Center growth authorization was granted. None.
It was unnecessary. Can't you see?
Shut up.
That is
I
escalating.
said turn it off.
Shocking scenes.
Is this not enough? You've just seen them execute unarmed civilians. People like you and me. So why are you watching this? Why are you not in the streets with us tonight? What will it take for you to get up and be a part of this? March on team headquarters, storm the building, demand elections, demand answers. Be what you were born to be, the once and future free.
By now. Don't go away. We'll be back after this.
Well then.
Thank you, Alex. From all of us, you're doing great.
Bomb was a good distance from the unit base.
This is becoming a weekly event.
No, it's different tonight. This is the big one.
Great. So there's a revolution happening outside and we're off to dangly fucking parts.
That's journalism, apparently. Can we get set for the next sequence?
Thrones.
Got big thrones.
Big
Well
thrones,
then.
big butts. Here, have some money. And the more you spend, the more you save.
Yeah, I
We've
deserve
got
that, D.
bigger thrones, mansion thrones, thrones you can throw at stones, stones as big as thrones.
Big
What do we
stick.
got?
Yeah, sure.
We got thrones to put in your hallway, to put in your
You have
stall,
two
to
security
put in your
people with a
doorway.
gun
What do we got?
Oh, doorways.
No,
aiming
thrones,
down somebody with a stick.
thrones. We've got all sorts of crazy stuff to bling your experience. You want it in gold? We've got it in gold. We've got gold-plated strawberries, gold-plated bikes, gold-plated cars, gold-plated helicopter, gold-plated jet plane. We've got gold-plated gold. We gold-plated, we melt it back down, we gold-plated again. Gold! Gold! Gold!
Alex, During this next section, a cameraman working in the newsroom who's one of us is going to get a coded location out. We don't know yet which camera he's on, but if we find out, I'll let you know. Just keep your eyes out for the fist and try and keep it on the ear for at least 5 seconds. Our operatives will do the rest.
I'll try to.
Mrs. Neal, come and take this away and
This is your
spend
new
it.
makeup artist, Craig.
No.
What? 25 years in the biz and it
10
hasn't been
seconds,
better.
everybody.
Come on down, because the missus needs new knackers.
Okay, we are going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News with me, Megan Wolfe. Very shortly, we'll be heading on over to the final episode of what has quickly become a hugely successful feature, the Notice Board. But before we do, let's chat with Philippa Radon. Tell me, why do you think the public love the Notice Board so much?
It's real. There, I said it. It connects with people. You know, people look at us and they say, those are real people struggling with real problems.
That's a really interesting point.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying to my PA secretary as I got out the limo, I was saying, it's good for people to see normal, authentic people like them on TV.
People like you.
Yeah, precisely. Unfortunately, then I was interrupted by some dreadful wretch who wanted an autograph, but swift kicking from security soon put him back in line.
Yes, well, I think it's really good that our screens are filled with such relatable stories. So, the Notice Board is coming to an end after a sensational time at the top. What do you think has made this show so successful?
It's a combination of so many things. My hard work, my talent, my look.
Wow.
Your gunfire
You have a lot to thank
outside.
you for.
Hey. You're welcome.
We've just heard. Our man's on camera 4.
I have a real sense of responsibility. You know, a
Get back to the interview, Alex.
something precious, and that I should use that platform for good.
I got it for 5 seconds, I
Yeah.
think.
I think that's really important, that we should use this platform to do good in the world. I agree.
That's exactly it. So I've decided to help as many underprivileged children.
Excellent work, Alex. That's the location shared. Next, you'll need to give them the go.
Is that better access to education, or reducing child poverty?
No, by adopting as many as I can get my hands on.
Oh, okay. How many children have you adopted?
Oh, we're well into the double figures now, Megan. I stopped counting in the late 30s.
Goodness, that is a lot of children.
Yeah, once we finish putting them into the guest room, I'll have to put a futon in the laundry cupboard.
Oh, you really are some sort of hero.
Hey, I live a privileged life. What can I say? I mean, any child I can take on is a child rescued from suffering.
Poor children. Were their lives really that bad before?
Oh, they're Northerns, I presume so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's shocking to think, actually, that only 1 in 10,000 children have a celebrity parent.
I'd never thought of it that way before.
And I'm doing everything I can to fix those numbers.
What do you think it is about your life that's so desirable, then?
Well, it's mainly shame and panic interspersed with expensive bottled water, so actually, if anyone wants to, I'd happily trade.
Now that I can relate to. Right, you better go off and get ready. That was Philippa Radon sharing some thoughts about her lifestyle. I think it's really important to stay grounded and keep everything in perspective. Clearly, not everyone else agrees, but that's enough for me. Let's go now over to Dangly Parts for the final ever episode of the Notice Board.
What a day! First the tea morning, and now to post this notice. I don't know how I managed to cope with it all. Oh wait, perhaps I do.
Actually need to pay attention what camera is what.
Oh! By St. Barnabas, what on earth is all this?
Freeze, dirtbag!
Oh, Laura, it's you. I thought for a moment you were a knife-wielding mugger or stabber.
No, I'm afraid not. It's just me, a community cohesion officer, responsible for keeping crime at record lows.
Of course. Keep forgetting that thanks to you and your colleagues, violence on our streets is a thing of the past.
What's all this, Vicar?
I know, it's a disgrace. Somebody.
It's time for the go code. Give us 3 boos in a row, Alex. That will start the pincer movement. We might just pull this off. Push forwards! 3 boos, Alex.
Careful, Vicar. It looks
Yeah,
heavy.
I'm working on it.
Ha! They don't
Hi
call
there.
me the Right Reverend. Ripped for no reason.
Yes!
It's no good.
It looks like all those crucifix classes were a waste of time.
Perhaps you, a young CCO, would be able to move it.
2 for 2. Fantastic.
Looks like all those lifting classes were a waste of time.
It's too heavy, even for me, a strong and capable
You
woman.
did it, Alex.
Surely
We're
there's
good to
no
go.
one strong enough to lift this.
Oh boy.
Did someone call for the best firefighter in town? Hi!
Well done, Captain Evans. You're so much stronger than us.
Especially me, the weak old man.
It's the least I could do for my community.
No luck catching the little devil then?
Unfortunately not. The ferret struck again last night. When Ray opened the post office this morning, he found that every single stamp had been pre-licked.
My God!
Some people have no decency.
Sadly, if we don't catch him before tomorrow, we may have to cancel the village fete.
Don't worry, we won't let that happen. Will we, Vicar?
No, no, no. Laura, tell me, why do they call him the ferret?
Some say it's because of his sneaky nature, but really it's because whenever he strikes, he always leaves behind the foul stench of urine.
Never fear, officer.
I'm sorry
We'll
if I'm not
catch
talking
this
much, I'm
pissy
focused.
nuisance and save the village fate, or my name's not Captain Danger Evans. The community cohesion team are doing their best, but they simply don't have the smarts to solve this mystery. But I know someone who does. Someone who's about to blow this thing wide open. Me! Blackout!
We have 3 more minutes of this.
Ah, it's the morning of the village fete, thanks to theatrical convention.
I sure hope everything goes to plan. Oh, look! There's Mrs. Craven setting up her cake stall.
And look, there's the motorcycle display team setting up for a show that would be far too expensive for live television.
I'm going to set up the coconut shy. What are you doing, Vicar?
First, I'm running the tombola. Then, I'll be selling forgiveness for money.
Aren't you judging the jams?
I couldn't possibly.
Well, that sounded like Mrs. Craven. Looks like someone sucked all the jam out of her donuts.
That damn ferret has struck again.
Whatever are we to do?
Although I'm very competent, I have no idea how to solve this case.
I guess we'll just have to cancel the fete.
Hold it right there, ferret.
Me? Have you been drinking from the fire extinguishers again?
Not you, the vicar.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Admit it. You wanted the village fete cancelled so you could have the day off, didn't you?
I already have to work Sundays. I shouldn't have to work 2 days a week.
But how did you know?
Well, my first clue was the smell.
Yes, I do smell of urine.
Next, I noticed that the vicar's tongue was particularly dry, almost as if he'd been licking thousands and thousands of stamps.
Or perhaps eating Mrs. Craven's baking.
Which brings me on to my third clue. The vicar said that he had no more room for jam.
Almost as if he'd had his fill.
Precisely.
But you managed to figure it all out from that?
Well, I also found this at the scene.
That proves nothing.
Get him out of here, officer!
You did it, Captain. You could say you ferreted him out.
Hey, come on. Let's go and have a party in my massive garden. I am doing well.
Thanks to you, we're all doing well.
My God.
Well, that was it. The final ever episode of the Notice
God.
Board. And what a way to end it. Thank you as always to Jeff, Philippa and Tommy. After the break, we'll be both dancing and learning. So don't change that channel. We'll be right back.
That's the ads. Well done, everybody.
Wow! What a brilliant run, eh? After party at my place, eh?
Alex, this station is supposed to be unbiased. Your partisan behavior will end up getting us taken into public ownership even sooner. Less revolutionary zeal. Do your job.
I am doing my job.
How progressive their policies are. Well, I was wrong. And I'm here tonight to say I'm sorry. And to beg for your forgiveness.
One last push, Alex.
My parents are not
We're closing in. One of the guests in the last section is working with us. You'll be asked to censor on our behalf. If you do it right, the final orders will be given.
My hands are cold.
We'll get 3 chances. Get at least 2 of them right, and we're going to win this thing. It's happening, Alex. Tonight we take it back.
So when Advance came to power, I didn't think about the damage they would do. I acted selfishly. I was glad to see the rich punished. I didn't see how backwards Advance were. I didn't understand that rather than tearing down the wealth creators, we should have been helping everyone else to take a seat at their table. Under Advance, the country is poorer. It is poorer in ambition. It is poorer in aspiration. We are infantilized by Advance's naive policies.
Please, Sarah,
Policies born from
Mum, I'm really not supposed to say.
Are we absurd,
safe?
redistributive fantasies.
Jenny just said to ask if you need any touch-up.
I have hoarded myself out to the media to defend
That's
the
my shade, is it?
indefensible.
Yeah. This is my
I have
shade.
betrayed my parents. I see that now. Mum, Dad,
You can run back to Jenny
I'm
now.
sorry. Our only hope.
Sorry about that, Sarah. Nothing you
The
can tell me.
only hope.
At all, like at all. They said no one's died.
Now
That's all I can
lies.
say.
10
with
seconds.
What's wrong with you?
She is in tears. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Later in this segment, we're hoping to be able to go back to Patrick Bannon at the scene of tonight's shocking Disrupt attack. But first, I'm delighted to be joined by the cast of the smash hit musical everyone is talking about. I'll be speaking with the cast in a moment.
Please,
but
not the
first,
music section.
Let's take a look at them in action. Please give a warm National Nightly welcome to the Novaries.
It's the music section. This one.
Hello? Doctor? Yes, I see. Thank you for letting me know. I have a decent life. I'm a happy, loving wife. And my job is well paid.
You can do it for the points, but it's useless.
I have a husband, John. He's due home soon, won't be long. And I have to tell him something that is absolutely chilling. We share coffee in the morning, and we make love every day. We take time alone together to talk and laugh and play. We prioritize our needs. We do charitable deeds. But the flowers of a happy life are now beset by weeds.
I'm home.
Oh, darling John.
Oh, dearest John.
There's something very wrong. I've just had a conversation with our doctor, David Wong, so please be seated. This news will make you feel defeated. The scans revealed a lump.
You poor unlucky chump. Is it cancer?
Worse, oh, John. We're having a baby.
this be?
Oh, woe is me.
Why has this happened to me? I always wear 2 condoms for the maximum of
Safety in our tiny flat, we built a peaceful habitat. Now our lives are fucked, we're having a baby. Now you can't have any wine at Book Club.
And there won't be any time for foot rubs.
Now your hair will stink of
This would
weed.
be so horrible to watch.
And forget about that holiday in Territory 3. No more waking up at 10:30.
What expression clip it?
Get a good night's sleep again. No more snap decisions to go on to a club. You'll be lucky if you even make it out to the pub. Why can't we be more like our gay and lesbian chums?
The only glue they have to deal with comes from personal bums.
Now when I take a sick day at home,
The parasite won't leave you alone.
how he's grown.
We're our top
priority. I look after you, and you look after me. Ain't no trouble and strife. We got a childless life. No one wails and no one woes. No one draws things on the
This would be so horrible to watch.
A wonderful wife. We got a childless life. We're having a baby. We're having a baby. Changing nappies daily. We're having a baby. No more weekends by the coast. Now your kid is uppermost. It's more than a passing craze to have childless days.
We're having a baby.
Food and drink thrown everywhere. Death trap toys at the top of the stairs. Every parent prays to have childless days.
We're having a baby.
No more spas and no more. We're having a baby. 18 years on bills and leaves. Time for a whole new phase.
We're having a baby.
One more thing before the show.
I can't get
Have you considered that you might be having twins?
Amazing. The Novaries there, treating us to their opening number
there.
from Elegy for a Childless Life, which is currently the hottest ticket in the Capital Theatre District, and will be touring the territories later this year.
Right then, come on, you got.
Come on down, let's go, don't be shy. Hello. Hi, Megan.
Hi. It's an honour to be here.
Oh, really? Are you fans of the show?
Yeah, it used to be.
Well, listen, let's get stuck in. Your amazing musical. Now, I mean, not only do you perform this show every single night,
With matinees on Wednesday and Saturday.
right, but you're also the show's creators, am I right?
Well, everyone contributed their ideas, and then some of us went away and did the actual work on the script. But no, it's very much a team effort.
Oh, that's fantastic. How rude of me. I've not introduced any of you. I'll be the one being replaced next. Let's go down the line, shall we?
Hi, I'm Jack.
Jim Blunt. Pleasure to be here.
Jennifer Boreham Woodley.
Hello, I'm John Satley. Used to be in the business professionally.
My name's Jill, with a J.
And I'm Janet. I'm the youngest.
That's incredible. And you were all friends previously. I mean, what a coincidence, right? With your names beginning with a J.
Oh my goodness, guys! Our names all begin with J.
How have we never noticed that?
Because you haven't typed them out 1,000 times, maybe?
You knew? Why didn't you say anything?
I thought we all knew.
It's bloody obvious, isn't it? I just thought we were doing a funny thing where we never mentioned it. And I believe as well as being friends, you're also couples, you know, in real life as well as in the show.
Well, well, not exactly.
I'm not married to him. I'm with Janet.
And I'm with John, you lucky bean.
Jim and I are married.
4 fabulous years.
Well, that must make for some confusion in the rehearsal room.
Well, you should have seen the first draft. Jen decided that Jack would play Jim, I would play Jack, Jen Janet, Jill Jen, Janet Jill.
What?
What about John?
Well, my character was originally just called Man 1.
It was allegorical.
It was very confusing.
Not for a professional.
After much toing and froing.
And gnashing and wailing.
And gin and tonic.
We decided that we'd just use our own names, which is less truthful.
We're also less likely to go into the wrong dressing rooms.
Oh God, yeah, that would be very embarrassing, wouldn't it? Of course, when I first wrote it, we were only meant to run for a few nights at the Mimbley Village Hall, but when I registered it with the Department for Culture, it caught the eye of someone high up, and before you could say overnight sensation, we were transferring to the capital.
It's all been a bit of a roller coaster, really. I'm only 19. I'm the youngest.
You really don't have to repeat that.
I had to give up my job as a mortuary technician.
Well, yes, we all had to move to the capital.
I love that job.
It's been a very turbulent time.
So peaceful, no singing.
This piece isn't political.
Stand by, Alex. Censor the orange.
It's about children. And why you shouldn't have them.
In a way, I guess it is political, with a small p. After all, we are a solid unit, and eagle-eyed audience members will see we nod our heads to advance on stage throughout, and we target the messaging at women aged 22, well, about 35, as they're the most likely to be afflicted by this terrible problem.
Terrible problem.
Having children.
Well, you understand, Megan.
You clearly agree. Wow, this isn't about me.
Of course, we see that there are advantages to a family unit, but eagle-eyed couples watch as the little parasites advance on their lives, and there's no time to play the guitar, get through a book, or watch a movie. They're exhausted, passed out on the couch by 20 to 9, for God's sake.
You're very chatty tonight, dear.
Usually I'm the chatty one, because...
You're the youngest, we know. It's not a badge of honour, Janet.
Janet, please, Jennifer. Oh, well said, John. Thanks, Janet. Got you back.
So could you just tell us what is the play about? What happens in it?
Well,
go ahead.
It's a tragedy, obviously. Jennifer, myself, and John have their child, and then the story charts the downfall of their hopes and dreams.
I looked away for a second.
Singing.
I'm dancing.
A lot.
My character works at a menu centre for a distribution unit. Eagle-eyed, she sees her friend's rapid advance to a pit of despair. Becoming a target for children's TV advertising at the age of 22, she decides to take drastic action. I can't really say more, though. I probably said too much already.
Yes. Let's not spoil the second act for anyone who might come to see it.
Which should be all of you. For too long, we've been told that a life without children is somehow incomplete, that children are a blessing. Well, I've done the research, and they're not. Besides, there's already loads of bastards running around all over the place, so...
We just want people to have the option of a happy, child-free life without stigma. You know, when I was 14, before I had come out, I had an experience with a girl called Julia Jacobs. She was an experiment, I guess, you know, a chance to dip my toes into the
Exciting. Well, thank you all so much for coming in tonight. I really hope you keep them dancing in the aisles for many performances to come. The Noble Fair. Look like pleased to say we can now go back to Patrick Bannon to get the latest from the scene of tonight's horrific events.
I thought we were already switching.
Are you okay?
Thank you, Megan. This is Patrick Bannon reporting from the scene of tonight's devastating and symbolic attack tonight this evening. An attack which I myself have found myself caught up in. I'm still a little dazed and a little deaf, Megan. So I hope you'll forgive me if I seem that it's time to speak with the Prime Minister. Mrs. Salisbury, that's you. You're still here. The Prime Minister.
I couldn't leave. Not when there were people that needed help. Any team player would have done the same. I don't deserve praise for being human.
Yes, no accolades here. Or Palisades? Or Lemonade? Right. So, is the situation now, are we safe?
Yes, the security services performed their duties without hesitation, and I would like to assure the public that although there have been some injuries, there were no civilian deaths here this evening.
Oh, that's good news about the Sorry, did you say no deaths?
That's right, no civilian deaths. Just the 4 disrupt terrorists curtailed by law enforcement, who were, as always, so cohesive. If I may, I have a message for your viewers.
Of course, the camera, there's the speak there, on the camera there.
Stay at home tonight. Do not become another casualty of war. Disrupt have had their moment, but as the dear departed Peter Clements once famously said, it ends today.
Thank you, Prime Minister, for those strong words of strength. Back to the studio. Megan, now in the studio with Megan Wolf now.
Patrick Bannon there, bravely reporting from the front line of tonight's horrifying bombing. Maybe you need to get checked out, Patrick. Well, that brings us to the end of tonight's National Nightly News. But before we go, tonight's National Nightly News.
Victory is in sight, my friends. You have mobilized. You have come together. From our agents at the television networks risking arrest and getting those words to you, to the many hundreds and thousands gathering to invade team headquarters. As I speak, we are turning the tide, and it is time for change. Tonight we topple their regime, and we also silence their mouthpiece. Channel 1. Time to wake up.
Out from the shadows, and they are not the overwhelming force they would have you believe. The military have been actioned, and well, it's pretty scary out there tonight, so stay at home and stay with Channel 1. Because the team has assured this programme that the turbulence will soon be over and we can once again focus our minds on building a new future with equality, fairness and resources for all. My name is Megan Wolf. Let's make tomorrow better.
Alex, tonight is the beginning of the fall of advance. Vice Chat, 11 o'clock. Charges read, sir. Permission to detonate. Permission granted, old friend. We are going to detonate. Look out of your window, Alex. See what you helped make happen. She's coming down.
Well, that escalated. Hold on. Also, unfortunately, I am going to have to call it because there are some things going on that have been distracting me. Because you've probably been noticing that I've looked over to the screen, over to my other screen this whole time. So, I'm gonna be calling it short today. I want to take care of, I want to see if I can take care of some things, because this is just distracting to me. If this settles quickly, I'll come back, but else I am going to send you all off to whoever's live. We can go over to Spider, because Spider's playing some Destiny. Actually, no, we'll go to Rebel Prince, because Rebel is also playing Destiny. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the stream today. I'm sorry to cutting it short, but I want to be sure to be there for people. So, again, I hope you all enjoyed the stream today. I will be back if things settle. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. Until then, have a good night. Bye-bye.